Okay, so this was LOA on. That video is going to be uploaded as well. It's like almost a 2 hour long. But for those of you who wanted like a super TLDR plus like uh my thought process on this particular LOA on, this is the video that you guys should be watching. Plus, you guys will be looking at here. For those of you who are sleeping, it's like almost it should be like 5 a.m. for you guys, right? So there's that. So let's get to it right quickly. So in Korea, generally, it's a big win for this LOL on, but we probably need to see what the exact change is because there's a lot of changes. So going through it here, we're getting a new area. So this point, they're going to get a story that's going to be a wrap up. So to give you guys a rundown, what's happening here is Kazuros is going to be born. So the story itself of like the first chapter is going to be over, and this is where Kazuros is sealed. Therefore, the raid is going to be based on Kazuros itself, and there's going to be Legion commanders on top of that as well. So this one is the Kazuros Warfield, and this is like the map. And how he explained was this is more of a daily activity. And I thought it was going to be on top of it, but it seems like instead of doing Chaos Dungeon twice, you can do this once. And this also has like a rest gauge on it, so it'll be once every like 3 days. So it's not on top of it. So some of the people were misunderstood that there's going to be another like daily activity on top of whatever that we have. But this stuff, we probably need to see the update notes for it. Alright, and this is the next raid. So Khan's coming back. He's revived, and this is the new guy called Egir. And this is coming out about July, end of July. So this is a new raid, 2 gates, which is nice. Where I mentioned, like, I really think it's nice that there's gonna be 2 gates instead of like 3 or 4. And the stuff that he explained here was, so you kind of fight a Khan again on gate 1, and this big guy is the Egir guy. He's a abyss monster, where like Kazuros kind of resides. So we're kind of going inside him and we're destroying his core, which is for gate 2. So that's the concept of it. And that's the Egir guy. That's gate 2 boss. He kind of looks like that Bloodborne boss when I looked at him. So it's gotta be pretty exciting. New raids are always exciting. Blind runs are always exciting. My group's probably ready for it. So there's no super exciting for me there. Doesn't look that hard to me though. And I always said this, and then I always get my ass beat. And after that, we have Bro Shaza over here, freezing everything up. So this is going to be a new raid, which is coming out in September. And as you notice, there's going to be a Khan, there's Broshaza, and I'm pretty sure there's going to be Theomine for Chapter 3 on the winter or something like that. To get ready for the final battle with Kazuros. Sometime on the winter. So this is the single mode content. Long story short, single mode is going to be from Valten to Voldy's normal, which is 1600. And it's a separate level. For example, if you do a single mode content, you don't do normal or hard. And what you do is you get a lot of materials to help you grow your character. Plus, you get some gold off of it as well. So if you are a new starter player, you have an option to just run the dungeon yourself. And the change of this is when you have a group mechanic, that is lower to having a single player mechanic. Now, the biggest question here was, what about classes that are like supports? And what about the classes that are like entropy, where you have to do back attack? This is where you have an option to select buffs. So it seems like this kind of buffs goes marking skills do a lot of damage. And some of these are back attack skills will be affected as front attack as well. So therefore, they added in new systems to help the single players to run the dungeon without any issue based on class differences. Okay. So generally, the design of this solo mode, it looks really good. And then again, the stuff that they were worried about giving gold and giving material, they'll all be there too. And there will be separate strategies based on what kind of buffs you select as well. And this is the new Third Awakening. Third Awakening has been worked on for a very long time. I think the last time I saw it was during Low on Winter, which was last year. And this takes very long because you're essentially giving new skills, at least four. It's 4 to 5 new skills to each class, and there's 26 classes, and that's a lot of stuff to add, right? Therefore, if some of you guys are wondering why there's why is there new no new class coming out for this Loan or Loan Winter, that's because they worked on revamping the old existing classes. There's no way they're gonna add new class on top of whatever they're doing right now. And for here, as you can see, this is 2 new awakening per class and 2 to 3 skills that you can select. And then you have an arc passive. Okay. So if he shows you here, so you notice this is the awakening. The awakening bar fills up, and then you can use your super awakening. And this T here, obviously you can change this to different hotkeys, is you select 1 skill out of the 3 to add another skill in. So you have total 10 skills to go around with. I don't know the cooldowns for these 2 skills, but we'll probably see around August what this will be for every single class. And the old video where I cover, the other video that we look at the whole thing, it shows you all classes of what the Third Awakening is gonna look like. They all kind of look epic, and I'm pretty excited to see what my classes are gonna be. Some of the stuffs are really cool, just like that destroys his big explosion. The effects are really nice. Okay, so skipping the other stuff you can see on the full video. Lost Ark's gonna get season 3 now, and it's gonna start at the roadmap. When I saw at the end, it says around July, so we would pretty much assume that it's going to start around July. And what season 3 is going to give you is I'm gonna closely go over this here. Is the battle level is gonna be 70 max, and the roster level is gonna be 400. And when you get to 70, it's more skill points, right? And when tier 4 comes out, there's going to be new accessories, new gear, and then there's new gems. So we'll talk about that in a little bit with a better slideshow. And for season 3, there's going to be a new area where you can get the new tier 4 gear. This is where you get the new tier 4 gear, like the relic ones and stuff. And this area is where you do the chapter 1 boss, chapter 1 raid. Okay. So this is the review part for it. So T3, this is the Akan gear 1620. T4 is where that new area is, and the Kazaros raid, which is the Iliakan and Egir, is a 1640 ancient tier 4 gear. And the difference between these two is this can go to plus 20 and this can go to plus 25. The eye level stuff hasn't been mentioned at all, but this is where you get the gear. And going back to people who are worried about things is, in order for you to get to this area, you need to be 1620. So when you get to 1620, you get to this area, you get the new T4 gear. So when you're a brand new player, you get to access the area, and you get to be probably enjoying content that the existing players are actually already doing. So that's another point that because some of the people are worried about, it's like, oh, the new stuff that's gonna happen. They don't have to worry about it too much because everyone's gonna have a new starting ground with T4, with the new area, and the new raid that's gonna come out too. So for tier 4, one question was, what about elixirs and transcendence and the glow, right? The elixirs are going to be encyclopedia, as in it's not going to be applied onto an armor, or the transcendence is going to be applied to an armor. It's going to more work as if a universal method, so that when we change gear, we don't have to worry about, oh, do we need to do elixirs again or transcendence again, right? So it's going to be more of a mini game. And as for glow, since we're switching to T4 and then having the plus lowered, the glows are going to be provided as a skin, so you get to choose. And when you upgrade the T4 weapon to a higher amount, the glows are going to be different. As he mentioned, that the glows are going to be different in the future, right? But the past glows is going to be bad, right? So you get to choose whichever you want. And for quality, the max quality is going to be 120. And from one, I don't know about the 1 to 100 having the pity, but they're adding a pity system on quality as well. So when you have this pity filled up, you get to change your quality. And the max quality is going to be 120. And it seems like they're adding like another a material that is required for you to do quality taps. And for Esther for season 3, it's gonna be the secondary Ella, and then you get to have Esther 9 or 10. I don't have an Esther weapon, so it doesn't really apply to me. So this is the interesting thing that is confusing a lot of people. So when you look at this, this is the arc passive. We have the evolve, we have the clairvoyance, and then we have leap. This kind of looks like League of Legends, correct? Like the League of Legends rune system. It's kind of similar. It is what it is. And this stuff increases your like crit rate, all these things, stats. And the blue system is like a class engraving, which I'll talk a little bit more later. And the green one feels like the awakening skills in it have unique attributes to your class. So what's important here is the system that we have right now is this. We have accessory that has 5-3 or 6-3, correct? And then you have a stone that is a 9-7 or 7-7, etc. And then you have a book that gives you 12 or etc. All these things. The old setting is as is, and the arc passive is the new system where you can improve your character. You get to choose either or. So if you have an old character that have a setup already, you would use the old setup to do your raids. But when you're a new player, you actually don't need to learn the old setup where you have to have accessories, etc. You would just move over to the arc passive and just increase your arc passive stuff. You'll obviously be a little bit weaker compared to the person who have the old setup, right? But you don't need to learn a new system at all. So it's either or. You get to choose either one, or you get to either choose the tier 4 stuff when you're a new player. So you don't have to worry about buying accessory, like calculating 5-3, cutting stones, and all that stuff. So going over the arc passive a little bit closer, these are the armors, right? So the armor over here, it shows crit, it shows swift, and then you get to choose 30 points on whatever the 120 points that are given to you. Mathematics stuff, we'll probably be working on new builds to figure out what classes need. These are the new things that we need to research into mathematically. But this is the new stuff that the new players will need to be looking into. And as for accessories, this is the second tab, which is clairvoyance, right? And this one looks over here. It says taijutsu level 1, taijutsu level 2, and taijutsu level 3, right? And then you have 8 points of something to add something unique. And one thing funny that they mentioned, the director mentioned here, was some classes can transform where the mouse pointer is pointing, and some classes can actually spacebar forward instead of backwards. And he mentioned that on Gunlancer, right? You get to select a point to make the Gunlancer jump forward instead. So those kind of passive stuff is going to be added here within the accessories that you have. And then as you see here, you have 85 points, and you get to allocate 85 points accordingly to give to give class engravings proper, right? So there's going to be new builds considering what people are going to be doing. So the new players are going to be relying on people having like a proper builds, right? They can just follow that instead of learning other different things. Okay, and the third one is this is based on 88 points. And one thing I noticed was bracelets and all these other things. I think you get points based on what the accessories give you, because later on this bracelet had plus 6 leap points. That means the accessory is going to give you leap points for you to allocate into. This is not 100% sure, but we'll probably need to see the patch notes for that to figure out what exactly it is. But all these points are for your awakening and your awakening passive. So It doesn't apply too much on the character build itself. So over here is the engraving preset for the new arc passive, right? And the reason why the arc passive is stronger is, as you notice here, these are the universal engravings like Curse Doll, Grudge, and Hitmaster, Keen Blunt, and Adrenaline here, right? The highest engraving that you can get is 6/3. It's because, as you noticed, your class engraving is on the accessory now, right? Now the other engraving is going to be on the stone, and you get to select 5 of them. So your old build, the highest one you can get is 5 3s and a 2. In this one, you can get a 5/3 on the universal engraving, and you can get 5 3s on a universal engraving, and then you get to have the set bonus on the accessories. So eventually, everyone needs to go over to the arc passive as you progress through the game. Therefore, if you're a new player, you'll be just focusing on this. You'll get a decent 5/3, and then you're working on the accessory for your class engravings. And for those of you who are wondering about stone, this one confused a lot of people. So the ability stone, if you have like a 9/7, right? If you have a 7/7, etc., you notice this is level 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if you have a 10, it's a level 4. If you have a 9, it's a level 3. And for ability stone criteria here, it says if I have a 7/7, it says from 3%, 3.75, 5.25, and 6%. So we just get for those of you who already cut a stone and have a really high bonus stone for it, you just get bonus attributes. So it's 0.35 75% more stronger, and then 5.25 for having a 9/7. So obviously having a 9/7 is not garbage. Whatever you have is going to be transferred over. So 10/7 could be the new best, exactly, because it gives you 6% on the level 4. And then a 7 is over here, right? So it'll be level 1 and 2 with the lower one. So this one, we probably need to look into it. We need to see the patch notes for this. But that will be the change for it. So the existing stones will be transferred over to a new stone with the arc passive enabled to get into to enable the engraving that you need. Which is in this system. So everyone's gonna get a 5/3 either way, but how quality high is the 5/3? That kind of stuff. But again, all this stuff we need to know, and we need to see the patch notes to completely know what the system is around July. And obviously, I'm gonna be playing it anyway, so we'll probably see it then. And as for accessories, you can upgrade these accessories from 1, 2, and 3, and this adds up like, attack power, more damage. This is like a new system, right? And this is a system where you notice this is clairvoyance, right? Plus 8 to 11. I'm assuming this is the amount of points you can allocate within the system. So you have 8 and then you have 11, so you can allocate 11 points total. And the bracelet itself for T4 is, you noticed here, you get it from Kazuro's raid, Narok, and Broshaza. So we might not even see this until September. And then over here it says leap plus 7. That means you get to allocate 7 more points based on what bracelet you have. So I think that's what is the important part here. And when I say leap points, it's back here. So these points have 85, right? And then these points have 120. And these points have, these points have around 88, right? So based on the accessory, based on the bracelet, you can allocate whichever points you need to get the point to activate these attributes. So it's gonna be working like that. And when it comes out, we'll probably make like another video too, because I need to learn this myself. This is new for everybody, which is pretty exciting for me, right? Because it's a new system, new thing that we don't have to worry, and then we're kind of scratching off the old system off. And as for gems, so for gems, this important thing here is a lot of you guys are scared is level 10 gem is going to be converted to level 8 T4 gem, and a damage gem is going to be converted to damage gem, and then cooldown gem is going to be converted to cooldown gem. And another point over here is additional for damage gem for support. They give you support power too. So there's going to be some new calculations for supports to increase their buff efficiency too. So for say a new player starts with like a T4 gem coming in, yeah. An existing player with a level 10 gem, they're just going to convert it to T4 gem with the equal amount. So obviously T4 level 10 is gonna be the strongest, but just because you have a level 10 doesn't mean that you should sell it, because they're gonna give you you would transfer it over to T4 level 8. Now the real question is this: would you sell T4 level 10 gem T3 right now and stuff? Whichever it is, in my past experiences, anything that is done abruptly is usually the bad choice. You should kind of like take a look into it. So whichever the decision is for your economy and your gold, you should just decide wisely. That's what I think. Okay, that's my advice. Because everything, yeah, but they're cooking. So let's say the gem is cheaper. Should I buy it now, etc. Whatever. All that stuff is up to you. But knowing the system here, you should just decide whatever which is it is. Just make rational. My ask is just make a rational decision. So that was it for like T4 stuff, and then going over to other things. You know, the special, the bridge, the chaos line, all that stuff. Useless things are going to be optimized, and they're going to, you know, remove a lot of systems and removed there. And all the tokens are going to be unified, right? So those are really good. So they're simplifying the old system, right? They're simplifying the old systems and they're making it easier for new players. And for new battle system that's coming out in season 3 is going to be the parry, where it goes yellow and then you just need to press the G key to block it, right? And this is just an example. He's going to release it on the Guardian raid to help to make people learn the system more. That's how it's going to be. It's good to look at they're trying new things too. So one thing I want to mention over here as well is season 3 life skills. You know how everyone's doing excavate because excavating is so much efficient. The level of life skill is going to be 70 max now instead of 50, and he's going to balance overall of all the life skills so that you can actually get stable amount of fusion materials instead of like 99% of people relying on excavate. I think this is really good too, because new players need to rely on life skills to generate more income, and they should do it easier, right? And as for cards, so they're adding like new card sets and things, but it's not going to be like OP, like it's going to be the next level card set. The set bonus are still the same. It's just that they're adding a in between. So there'll be a Light of Salvation 24 to add in a plus 4%. So they're going to add like more middle ground so that people can have a stable increase in catching up. Honestly, they should just delete the card system as it is, as I talked about when I was looking at the LOA with you guys. But you know, I guess if they can't do it, at least add in something in the middle. And also another farming system coming in. This is called the relic engraving book. You need 5 of them, and I'm pretty sure this is added to add in like different attributes. It's not gonna make you like get 3 6s or something, right? But what he have explained was it just makes the engraving, I guess, more efficient, more stronger, right? Because it's over here. It says heroic, legendary, and this one says relic, right? That's like 3%, 3%, 3%. So we'll probably need to see how it comes out later. And this vision rune here is not an actual upgrade of the rune like Galewind, etc. This is a skill rune where you add different attributes to a certain skill to make it stronger. So it says, look at that here. It says increase in 10% in skill speed, and it gives you 20% additional stagger. So it's like a unique rune that they would need to add later. And Transcendence is going to be much simpler, as in there's a lot of text in Transcendence, right? They're going to remove a lot of text and then make it simple. And for Tripods, it's going to be simple too, where like you have level 5 on a certain thing, you can just choose either or to be like level 5 so that you don't make a mistake of having like a level 4 over here. So this one, I probably need to look into it at the patch notes again. But if you have a 5 on tier 1, you can just choose anything to be like level 5. So essentially just making it easier for new players too. And this is another fun one where when you're in a party finder, you can actually go do Chaos Dungeon, but the party leader needs to enable it. So that's a fun thing that that I thought it was in. And for damage numbers, they add in like more UI optimization to put like K's and M's and stuff, so that you see less text. So generally, the season 3, when we heard him talk about this, right? Season 3, the main idea is new content, new growth, and then changing playstyle differences, right? So generally, from looking at this only LOA on, these guys are providing 1600 Mokoko Express, and which is a 1520 pass, where you pay a pass, you get a 1520 character, and you get a Broshaza set bonus level 2 gear. And if you get to 1580, they give you a Khan gear set 3 bonus for free. Right? Straight up. Right? If you just progress through the game. And they give you mats and all this stuff. And they give you a experience pot that you get to be level 60 immediately. So what's important here is not only that they're giving you the elixirs to test out at 1620 and 1610 and 1640, they're giving you a level 6 event gem, tier 4. And they give you a free reroll on Transcendence. So this is very important in this case. Is not only they're giving the free the engraving support for all characters. So this one is for all characters. So you guys remember the engraving support? It's not for just Super Mokoko Express character. This is for every single character that you have in your roster. And also at the same time, if you trade into like raid tokens, you can get level 7 gems, which is bound. You can't trade these. So this means tier 3 is accessible even for a new player as a finished build. So in this case, if you're a starting player in Korea, what's going to happen is you get to be 1620 very easily without any other player interaction, because you can reach 1600 plus with solo content only, right? And with the honing system being silver only up to 1540, I think he mentioned 1540, 1580, either could be or. Sorry if it's wrong. And they're going to lower the cost of creating, and they're going to lower the cost of Transcendence and Elixir by almost half. And they're going to be giving you more battle experiences on top. And so what's important here is, I keep saying what's important here is, but it's actually really important. People who are playing right now is not going to benefit you as much, because let's say you guys are at 1620 already. You're not gonna get any of these beneficial stuff. You guys are gonna be worried about T4 transfers, correct? Like let's say level 10 being like T4 gem. What is the damage is gonna be, etc. All these things. This change is for new players that are coming in that have never played Lost Ark in Korea. You get the ticket for 1520. You get to try to raid out for yourself. Like you get to try Valton alone. You don't need to wait for 7 other people joining you. You get to try Vikis alone. You get to try Clown alone. You get to try Broshaza alone, Akan alone, everything alone until a point that you play Voldy's hard and Theamine and Echidna and so on and so forth. For player like me who already have 1640 plus characters, we're just getting ready for the new raid, which is the Akan and Aegir on July. That's it. But we don't have to worry about the newer players' experience in the game, because they'll catch up eventually by themselves. So for those of you that always say about getting gate kept, etc. and everything, like they're fine. Like no, like if you're doing solo raids and growing your character yourself, there's not gonna be a problem. Hold up. So the eye level of T4 is going to be 1620 because you go to the new area for 1620. So as mentioned here. Oh, sorry, not sorry. So the 1620 you enter the new area, but 1640 is where you get the new relic gear. So all this stuff again needs to be mentioned again on the patch notes, which they will, and then we'll probably go over the patch notes when more information is applied. But generally, up to 1640, which is the end game content, you can reach it alone, and I think that is the #1 biggest win that these guys decided to do. And they literally made almost every single raid up to the latest one, which is Theomine and Echidna, which you guys will be getting soon, without a worry about getting gate kept or worrying about people like playing with other people. Okay, so when you do that, like people can just so that afterwards you can just enjoy the raid by yourself and then just play the game as it is. And afterwards is another problem, right? So with that, they nerfed like the gold portion of it as well for the older raids. But for solo raids itself, you do get some gold, you get some materials, and you get to progress your character. And when you get to T4, you get to use the new system, which is the Arc Pass, because the system that you need, that is required for T3, is pretty much given to you for free for selecting the engravings in itself. So with that, the events and all these things on top of it together, for Korean users, this is like pretty much a win. And as I said before on the other video, when we look at the long Lost Ark video, I think it's like a solid 7 or 8 because like the changes are pretty good. I think we'll never know because like we'll probably have to see like other opinions of what the Korean players do. But in this case, solo raid's good. Kind of excited about the new raid and the third awakening on August, and then another raid at September. If everything updates as is, and if tier 4 is not like super crazy, difficult to learn about, I mean, at least something there's new for everyone to learn with, right? So I'll probably end the video with that. If you got any more other additional questions, you can pretty much leave it on the comment or ask whenever I'm doing like a live stream. So as always, thanks guys.